press record for us. Just want to welcome everyone to Tech Talks. This week we are in our 75th training, and Rachel Alter has very graciously accepted to present to us EMSC Week resources, and we're excited that she's here. So glad to see all of you again, and hope you enjoy the series starting back up. Just a reminder, we have some group norms that all skill levels are welcome. We're all at different levels of ability with certain things we talk about in Tech Talks, and so bring whatever you have to the table. It's awesome. Participation is definitely encouraged on the phone, in the chat box. Braden's going to be monitoring that today. Please remember to press mute, not hold on your phone, to keep the line as free and clear as possible of any distractions. And we hope you have some fun trying some new things today. We had a monthly challenge that I had sent out to add the EMS Week banner to your email signature. You can raise your hand with an icon or message in the chat if you were able to do that. Let's see if any of you were able to do the challenge. It's like Dwayne did. That's awesome. And if you didn't, that's okay too. We're going to get started kind of talking about that. I'm going to stop share here. And Rachel, if you want to go ahead and take over and talk more about the banner and resources, that would be fantastic.
First, I have to unmute myself. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you so much to NEDARC for giving me this opportunity to share the materials we've put together this year. You know, I hope most of you know that in past years we've kind of done something similar to what we've done this year, but this year we have a few modifications, and I have to give a whole bunch of kudos to our I can't say new anymore. She's been with us over a year, but Emily Lemiska, who I'm sure you will, the name you recognize now, she has been helping everybody with the Bear logo and various other communications, but she's our new director of communications with the EIIC and is brilliant and has really, I think, helped us a lot in some areas we didn't even really recognize we needed help on. So what I sent everybody, all program managers and coordinators, an email last week, which included this promotional package that I'm sending out, or sharing right now. And this is one of the things that Emily has really been pushing for us to do to help all of our partners and EMSC program grantees help the EMSC program push out materials and projects that we're doing. So one of the things as I go through this that I would really love to hear in the chat or from you verbally is things that we could improve on this, because this really is for you to help us. So we don't expect you to do any of this because I know you guys have a lot to do, but I do know that some people do ask for additional resources and helping promote some things. So we do hope that these things are useful in that way. So we did put together an example email announcement, which takes you to an email that is actually signed by Dr. Kathleen Adelgeise and myself. Obviously, it doesn't have to be, you can change the name. I didn't realize that I had left our names in there, so my apologies for that. I guess this is a Google Doc. I could fix that, but so this is just an example email that you can send out to your PEC listservs or any other listserv that you may have through to your EMS agencies. And I'm going to switch my screen share real quickly to my full desktop. Sorry about that. So I'm kind of clicking between some things here. So that's that email example, and I'll go back to it so you can see it. So just the sample subject line, and then the full email talking about our EMSc Day webinar, which I'll get into in a second, with a registration link and links to our EMSc materials, and our continual plug for our pre-hospital pediatric readiness materials is there as well. So the second thing is a sample newsletter blurb. I know that there's a bunch of you that are doing really great jobs with some EMSC specific newsletters, or even this could be included in even EMS, your EMS office newsletter, or university newsletters that you may have access to. And this one really focuses on our EMSc Day webinar. And again, I'm not going to go into that really quickly. I just want to go through this promotional material really quick before I dive into the rest of this stuff. So we do link out to our EMS Week Web Page and a graphic that we put together for that webinar. So the email signature banner, Jane did share the EMS Week one, which is great. We also did put together, we have a graphic designer that helped us put together one that includes the EMSC logo and outlines the theme days for the week, which is another option for you to use as your email signature banner. Our graphic designer who did help us with our new branding of the new bear, put together this Name Our Bear graphic. I didn't want anybody to let Benny know that he is being shoved off into the back pasture. But if anybody wanted to have some fun with kids in your neighborhood, or put this out there, this is just something fun that could be done at your local elementary school or something, or even throughout your whole state if you wanted to. This is not official. We are not actually naming the bear right now. We may do something later, but just something fun for kids to do if you were so inclined. And
Rachel,
then,
Erica, I just want to mention Erica in the chat just said that in Wisconsin they plan on using a lot of those, and that the templates are really helpful.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Erica. So next we have our list of social media posts. And I do want to encourage you that these are just samples to help you just get stuff out there. They're not by any means what you have to use. Anything you feel like putting together is great. We do have a bunch of different graphics that, that are free for anybody to use. The first four are basically celebration of EMS Week as a whole. And there's 4 different versions of that. And then a couple that just say Happy EMS Week with some pre-hospital providers, pictures on there. And then 4 separate graphics for EMSc Day. I hope I did. I picked this is my personal favorite. I think our new graphic designer has been doing a pretty solid job with these graphics for us. And then our EMSc Day webinar promotional graphic is linked in there as well. So any of these, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn options, and then we kind of have a different version for Instagram because you can't do links in Instagram posts. Those have to be in your bio. So we had to kind of tweak the Instagram versions a little bit. And I'm afraid this one might be a little bit long. So if you do use this EMSC webinar one, you might have to modify the language a little bit. I forgot to check my word count on those. So I'm going to just pause really briefly and see if anybody has any feedback, any additional things that we could start adding to promotional packages that we may have missed. Or did we hit all of the kind of large areas that people could use a little extra help in communicating out things that we're doing as a program? And I'm going to take silence as no need for improvement. All right. Okay, so that is going to take me to our new and upgraded EMS Week web page. You can get to it either through focus areas from the EIC website, and it's under pre-hospital care, or the easiest way right now is we have this icon that links you directly to that page. So we've done a little updates to this page, specifically in the promotional materials and celebration ideas. But we have added some direct links out to the celebration ideas, EMS Week's Facebook page. So this takes you to their specific one. This isn't the EIC one, but this is specific to EMS Week. And then to our information on the EMSc Day webinars. And then this bottom link takes you to the full EMS Week Resource Center, which is their new and improved website as well. So in the past, for those of you who have been around for a few years, you'll remember that there used to be an EMS Week promotional booklet, and I've just completely lost what they called it, but it was an actual printed pamphlet booklet that they would send out to help people celebrate EMS Week, and they are not doing that anymore. They've created this resource center and houses all of the things that used to be in that promotional guide. It includes their sponsors, backstory of EMS Week, personal stories. There's just a lot of really good stuff on here. So I really encourage you guys to get in here and play around as well, because there's additional stuff that we don't include on our site. Ours is obviously going to be a little bit, is more focused to the children. But if you're going to be doing other things for EMS Week, you might want to check out that page as well. So under celebration ideas, this is where we list the Emsc Day Proclamation that you may have seen in last month's Pulse. We also include a little information on steps to request the proclamation, which is new this year. We've just kind of given the proclamation before, and this year we've added kind of some how to do that to help people walk through how to get proclamations in your locality or state. Our appreciation templates haven't changed. It's the same certificate of appreciation and thank you cards with the date updated. So these will look pretty familiar to all of you. Some people have been using these and sending to their elementary schools or junior highs even, and then those kids will send them to their local EMS agencies. And there's some really heartwarming pictures and notes that come out of these. So that's always a fun thing to do. The activities for children page also has not changed. A little, I cleaned it up just a little bit, but mostly it's all the same kind of stuff for activities for kids. This always seemed to be a little bit more useful when people were having in-person events, and hopefully we can get to that shortly. But you know, obviously the last 2 years there haven't been any in-person things for EMS Week. And the last thing I wanted to show you was the EMS Week theme days section. So in past years, we used to have little one-page flyers for each week, which described the week and then gave you ideas on how to celebrate with a twist on how to celebrate and put a pediatric twist on it. So kind of realized that nobody was really printing those. So now we've used this accordion option on our website and still describes the day and then breaks down some event ideas or educational resources you can use for each of the theme days. And of particular note, just want to point out that Sunday is new this year. It used to be theme days just Monday through Friday. And this year they've added Health, Wellness, and Resilience Day to EMS Week. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was our EMSc Day Webinar. It will be at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, which is always EMSc Day. This year, I'm just really excited about what we've put together. We'll have 2 separate topics focusing on both provider mental health as it relates to challenging pediatric calls. And then our first speakers will be Nicholas Glom, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, and Conchata Watkins, who are out of UC San Francisco, I believe, and are part of the PCARN Spark node. And they've been working on pediatric behavioral health emergencies and diversion protocols from pre-hospital hospital. So we're getting a little bit of both sides of the coin for behavioral and mental health emergencies, both for pediatrics and providers. So I'm really excited for this webinar, and we are able to provide 1 CE through Prodigy EMS is working with us. And so EMS professionals are going to be able to get a credit hour for participating in this webinar. And we're really excited to be able to provide that as well. So I feel like I talked really fast and I wasn't going to because I didn't think I had that much to cover, and then I did it anyway. So I'm just want to see out there who is planning EMSC Day events, and if you're willing to put yourself on video or not even video, just tell us about maybe some of the things you're looking forward to and have going on for that week. If anybody would like to share. I know we do have a few newer people on here today. Glad to see you have joined.
You can also put comments in the chat. If you don't want to remark on the phone or go on video, you can definitely either raise your hand or make comments in the chat. Rachel, these are great resources, incredible work being put out there, and lots of things that are just ready, available to pour out on social media. I guess a question I have is, how soon do you think people should be promoting EMS Week?
ERIC is gonna start our push midweek next week, because that's about 2.5 weeks in advance. So we'll be sending out a news release out to EMS1, GEMS, and EMS World, I think, hoping that they'll pick it up to help us promote the webinar. So I would say fair game right now, especially into social media, would be great. I did forget to share this page, which does break down. Here's where you can download that email signature banner that has a specific EMSC logo on it, a zip file to our pictures, and also we have some Facebook profile pictures, and that's a zip, so it's going to download in my folder. Facebook profile pics like we did in the past couple of years, and a Facebook banner as well. So those are all downloadable here. This EMS Week logos takes you to just EMS Week logos. So all of the logos that NAMT and ASAP have put together, and an example news release and that proclamation again. So those are a few more. So yeah, for promotion, I'd say now is a great time to start getting the word out there. Certainly for EMSC Day, getting people registered. You can never start soon enough for that sort of thing. So you can go out and be merry with any and all of these items anytime now.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Braden, do we have any questions or comments in the chat?
Nothing in the chat, just some comments about how they're some excellent resources, and that the name our bear idea from earlier could be a good way to market EMSC.
Indeed. Rachel, could you talk just a little bit about the theme this year, how they came about the theme?
Gosh, yeah. So I can't talk to how they came about the theme, but every week does have a new theme, and this year is Rising to the Challenge, which I think is, super appropriate based on our heading into year 3 of a worldwide pandemic. And we can certainly agree that our boots on the ground pre-hospital providers have definitely, had a challenging couple of years, and so I think this year, even more so than in the past, it's important to celebrate these individuals and what they've been doing for us during these extraordinarily challenging times. And I think that's the testament to our new theme day as well, focusing on mental health and the recognition that it's not easy out there, and suicide and whatnot is increasing for all of our frontline providers, and we need to get a handle on that. So it's great that they're focusing on Sunday for that topic.
That's great, thank you. Again, if you have questions, comments, feel free to put them in the chat. Rachel, could you also maybe speak to EMSC Day specifically and what the proclamation is for maybe some of our managers who might be newer on the call today?
Yeah, so there's actually 2 separate proclamations. I'll jump back to EMSC or EMS Week page, and in their download section, there is a section for flyers and proclamations. So here's some full-on EMS week stuff you can you have access to as well. And then down at the bottom, there's an EMS Week Proclamation, and oh geez, oh, I'm sorry, it's titled wrong on the side. So the first one is the Emsc Day Proclamation, and there's also an EMS Week Proclamation. So many states will take these proclamations and get them signed by their governor, and it's just a really great publicity event. You know, we've seen pictures from I can specifically think of both Maryland and Alabama. I know it's happened in other places, so I'm not trying to exclude anybody from that. But, you know, Catherine Hurt being at the governor's office with a signed copy of that proclamation with the governor and her team surrounding her, and just the fact that the governor is acknowledging that day and its importance in the program's importance is just a really cool thing to do. And I'm hoping to see that this year, with people being able to actually be closer than 6 feet together, that maybe we'll see more actual proclamations come out and some great pictures that we can share in future years, which is what we've done in the past. We've always asked people to share pictures of their EMSC week day or EMS week festivities. And we usually share those the next year as examples of things that have happened. So I would ask, if you're willing, if you do things this year and are able to get photos of that, if you wouldn't mind sharing them with me so we can use those next week as part of our promotional experience to share. And it helps us give ideas for other people on what to do as well.
That's
So
great.
then back to the MSC page, these, this is a letter that I have too many things in my downloads. This is a letter asking your mayor, governor, to do this proclamation. So we even provide you with the first part, the first step on, hey, here's what we're asking you to do. Thank you for your consideration if you're willing to help us out with the proclamation. So that item is in there as well. And this is not on the EMS week page. This is on just the EIIC page.
It sounds like there's two great places to get all of these resources. I just have a question for everybody out there. If you could just type in the chat, which of these resources do you think you're going to use first? And it looks like we've got a comment in the chat, Braden.
Margot suggests doing it soon because for them it takes 6 to 8 weeks, but she did get hers submitted.
Yes, which is why we had the proclamation information was kind of the first to roll out in March, the March Pulse. And I probably could have done a better job with getting that email out to all of you as well. So I'm going to make myself a note to make sure that all of these materials get out a little sooner next year. I was a little bit behind the 8 ball this year because Emily decided to have a baby and went on maternity leave. So that I was flying a little bit on my own on this one, although she provided me with a lot of great, a great start to all of it. I had a kind of a learning curve to get all of this put together on my own. So I hope none of it is too late for you guys. I do promise next year we will make a better effort to get this out closer to 2 months in advance instead of just 1.
That's great. Any other comments in the chat?
Yeah, Rachel mentioned that Rachel Ford in Oregon, she mentioned that she shared the packet with her manager and a couple of the staff members that do a lot of the marketing. And then Margot mentioned that it's also great content to incorporate in a monthly newsletter, and she plans to do it on social media. Billy said proclamation and getting the packet out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to hear that so many of you, you know, have had experience with the EMS Week. Likewise, you've been able to utilize a lot of the resources in the past, and these are fantastic resources that you put together, Rachel, with your team. I think it's fantastic to see that coming about, and then we have access to so much. Trying to share my screen here one more time. And just want to thank you so much for your comments, for participating this month. Just want to let you know that next month we have our topic is dashboard discoveries, navigating MPRP data in Tableau, and that will be presented by NEDARC's data manager, Patty Schmuel. And the monthly challenge for May is going to be to find out how many of your hospitals are in a rural area. That's something that you can look forward to. We also wanted to mention that if you want to check out previous Tech Talks and webinar recordings about Tableau data dashboards, cleanse, more about EMS Week, etc., they'll be posted on our website as well as our YouTube channel. We'll be sending the link out probably by tomorrow for this one, so that you can go back and kind of look through all of the amazing resources that Rachel presented for us today. Thank you so much again for that, Rachel. Are there any final thoughts or questions before we head out? Anything else in the chat, Braden?
Thank you, mostly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone, today. If you have any questions or ideas, feel free to reach out to me at jane.osler@hsc.utah.edu. Thanks again, and we hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Be well.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks so much, Rachel.